I'm sitting out here taking notes for a Q&A, and Debbie's asking me some questions, and it's turning into another Q&A video. So we're going to have a special Q&A with just Debbie's questions. So here is my notes right here, and in the side is all of Debbie's questions right here. So that's what we're going to talk about today is Debbie's questions about my model railroading experience. So
look forward to it.
Yeah, so look forward to it. Yeah, thank you. Okay. I had to think about that for a while. The heat's getting to me. So that's what we got to look forward today. So we're out here. Well, she was out here. Yeah, we'll see you on the inside. But she was out here eating breakfast, and we were just enjoying the morning. And I was writing down notes for my upcoming Q&A, and she started asking questions about model railroading. So that gave me the idea of doing a Q&A with her questions on it. So, well, we're going to do an exclusive video on her questions. So stay tuned for that. These may be some questions that we get all the time from people that are outside the hobby. Although they seem obvious to us, they may not be so obvious to other people. So I think that's why Debbie asked all these questions. She saw me going through these lists of modelers who were asking me some of these questions, and she came up with her own questions. If you should have any questions about anything about model railroading, just leave them in the comments down below. I'll be happy to answer them for you. So let's get started with this special Sunday edition of Q&A. If you would like to support this channel, go ahead and do so on my Patreon page. You could do that there. Go ahead and check it out. Well, Debbie's first question was, what do you like best about model railroading? And I said, well, let me think about that. And I said, I think maybe I like building stuff. And maybe this gives you an idea of how I like building stuff. I just get an enjoyment out of putting things together and seeing what it looks like when it's finished. And like I said in some of the other videos that I do, having the ability to say, I did that. And I think I just posted that one there on Facebook. But here's some more of the stuff right here. And these are bar mills, and I'm going to be posting a couple of these photos right here. But anyway, yeah, building stuff. I like to build stuff. And getting back to model railroading for beginners, I want to encourage everybody to ask questions. If you have questions about model railroading, put them in the comments down below so I could cover them here, so I could answer your questions about model railroading, so we could feature you in a future Q&A. Debbie's second question was, what was your hardest building to build? And that was an easy one. The Gravely building. And not because it was a difficult building. The really difficult part of it was setting it up for videos. Now, this is a pretty simple building right here. But the hard part of it is setting it up for the camera and just getting everything ready, editing, cutting out all the blab, in between, and trying to get it down into a usable video, because just this last one where I put it together, the final assembly, was over an hour, and I cut it down into maybe 26 minutes. But I had over an hour of video, so I just had to keep on cutting it down, just to get it into a usable video where it wasn't too long. So that, even though it wasn't a hard kit to build, making a video of how to build it makes it difficult. This was my hardest kit so far, even though technically I had some harder kits. Ghibli Furniture was a difficult one, and this one right here, Darnell's Auto Body, I wouldn't say it was a real difficult one. It looks difficult, but it wasn't that difficult. It's real complicated to explain. It's a complex kit, but it's not that difficult. It's hard to explain, but I like difficulty. It's what can I say? But anyway, this one right here was the hardest one for me to do because of setting it up for the video. End of story right there. Debbie's next question was, how long did it take for you to plan your railroad? All my life. Well, anyway, I've had ideas from long time ago that I never got to build for one reason or another. And let me show you this area right here. This is what I've been trying to put together for, say, 30 years and never got a chance to. And this is Leakin Creek. It first started out as an idea of being called Simpson Creek, but when I was building it, I used the pellets from Woodland Scenics and it overflowed, so I called it Leakin Creek instead. It's just a scene that I thought up long time ago and never had a chance to build, and I just expanded on that, and I just kept on going and going. And so you could say it took 30 maybe years to plan it in stages, and I tweaked it here and there and made changes, and I made a lot of changes because every part of this had modifications to it. Over on this end over here, I tore out a whole section. You can see this is all tore out right there. Every piece of track that was in there I tore out, because what it looked like on paper didn't look good in reality, so it's getting changed. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Debbie's next question was, have you ever done any scratch building? And I said very little, because I'm not good at planning things out. And I think the only thing that I have scratch built is, now let me see, that little shed right there, and that little section in between the two buildings. That's about it. I think that's the only thing that I've ever scratch built. I don't think, now I've kit bashed things, but one of these days I'll probably scratch build something, but as far as it goes, those were the only two things that I've ever done so far. So that's a big no. Now this next one that Debbie asked is like a trick question. And she asked, what is the best part of going to a train show? Now this is like asking a kid, what's the best part of going into a candy store? Okay, now, what do I like about going into a train show? Everything. I mean, I like seeing the layouts. I like going and looking at everything that's on the train. I like looking at everything that's on the layouts. I like to see new things. I like to look at the displays. I like to look at everything that the people have for sale. I like to buy new things. I wish I could have an unlimited supply of money so I could buy everything that they have there. All the new things that I think that I need. Even though I have no place to put it, I wish I could afford it. But, you know, I don't have it. But anyway, I like everything about a train show, and I think everybody does. So that's a trick question. Now here's the last question, and it's about in our travels. What is the best place that you've ever seen as far as going to museums or any place else? Now we've been to a lot of places, and I wish we've been able to go to more places. Now we've been on some train rides, we've been to a lot of museums, and the one place that I liked the most was, and it surprised the hell out of me, is I don't know if you know this, but when I got out of high school, I worked on a railroad. It was called Monongahela Connecting Railroad, and years ago, I think it was in 2000, I went to see Strasburg Railroad Museum, and they had one of the locomotives there that from the Monongahela Connecting Railroad. It was 701, and the reason they had it there because, and I'm not sure, it was an EMD, and it was a center cab, but the reason it was there is because the top of the cab was shaved off, so it would fit in Furnace Alley in the steel mill. And so they had that there, and it surprised the hell out of me because I had no idea that it would be anywhere. But anyway, I found it in a book also. But that was the best thing. But all of them, anyway, I mean, everything up in Pennsylvania. I lived in Maryland, got to see the B&O Railroad Museum at the Roundhouse in Baltimore. Ellicott City, got to see the train station there. I don't know if that thing got flooded out the past year. I'm not sure. Colorado, there was a lot of stuff there. Pennsylvania, Maryland, Colorado, I've seen a lot of stuff there. And every place that I go, I love it. I love it. Well, that's it for this episode of Q&A with Debbie. This is a Sunday special edition. So, if you'd like to see more of Tom's Trains and Things, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And while you're at it, ding that bell, and that'll notify you whenever there's a new video coming out. So, go ahead and check out tomstrainsandthings.com. I got a lot of other stuff on there that you don't see on YouTube. And go ahead, check out Patreon page also. And we'll see you. There's a lot more stuff coming up in the future. So, take a look at it. And we'll leave you with this.